Today I'm going to answer the question of how would I invest $1,000? This is a question that I've actually gotten a surprisingly large number of times, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do, or more specifically what I would not do with $1,000. I'm John from BulldogMindset.com, and on this channel, you will learn everything that you need in life to become successful by developing what I call the Bulldog Mindset, which is the opposite of the victim mindset. So if you want to improve your wealth building, investing, if you want to improve your social life, all those things, you're going to find it here on this channel. So today what we're doing is we're looking at a DM I got. And so if you want me to answer some questions, sometimes I'll do questions from DMs, just follow me on Instagram, Bulldog Mindset, and I may answer your question. I get a lot of the questions that I answer on this channel from the Instagram. How would you invest $1,000? I'm just a young man trying to make the right choices / investments. I like that you're asking this question, okay? And I like that at your age, I'm assuming that you're pretty young here, that you're considering these things. Like how would you invest $1,000? Here's my answer. I would not invest $1,000. Now, I know this is going to seem heretical to so many people that tell you to be smart and save your money and be wise and invest, and the whole power of the compounding interest, okay? But here's the thing, okay? Here's the problem with $1,000 and why I wouldn't invest it, is because the effort required in order to determine what you should do with $1,000 and to manage that $1,000 is not worth the return that you'll get on it. We could do some basic numbers here, some calculations. So let's take $1,000, okay? And let's just say that you've got 30 years to grow that fucker, and you're gonna get a 10% interest rate on that thing. At the end of 30 years, it's worth $17,449. Not so good. That's 30 years at a 10% interest rate. Okay, first of all, if you have $1,000, you're not gonna get a 10% interest rate on it. Okay, maybe even, what are you aiming for? Like a 5 or 6% interest rate? So it's $5,743. Okay, the reason why I point this out is not because I'm not I'm not trying to tell you to invest or to not invest, right? I mean, heck, if we take this and if you have 100 years, you'll do pretty damn good. Okay, I can tell you already, $339,000. But we don't have 100 years. We don't have 100 years. Okay, the problem with people that are touting compound interest is that they don't understand the time span of things, okay? And the issue is that compounding interest is great when you have a lot of money. So I'm trying to think of a good way for you guys to understand this, because a lot of people misunderstand this concept, but if you understand this, it's a critical factor in your life, right? There's certain things that make sense at certain scales, right? I've done videos on frugality, talking about how basically the utility value of money, okay, is going to determine whether you're frugal or not, right? So the idea is simple. It's basically like this. When you're not making a lot of money, you need to be frugal, because every penny that you save is going to count more, okay? It's going to give you leverage. It's going to give you the ability to get out of your circumstances, to invest, okay, in yourself, okay, to invest in your future, to invest in real estate, to save up money, to be able to reach a point where the investment will actually make sense. At $1,000, it doesn't make sense. But as you start to climb in your income, you start making a lot more income, that idea of being frugal doesn't make sense, okay? You can get the Starbucks lattes. It doesn't matter. You can do that every morning. It doesn't matter, okay? If you waste $5,000 or $10,000 a year, it doesn't matter when you're making $300,000 a year, okay? It's a drop in the bucket. It doesn't make a difference. It's not going to affect your financial future. If you're making $40,000 a year, if you waste $5,000 or $10,000 a year, that's the difference between getting out of the hole and going deeper in the hole, okay? It's a huge, huge difference. So the same thing is going to occur here. If you have $1,000, it really doesn't fucking matter what you do with it. It really doesn't matter. Whether you blow it on hookers or you invest it in the best investment that you can make, okay, and I'm assuming that you're not really going to get more than 10 or 15% interest, okay, with $1,000, you're probably, that would be stretching it. Anyway, it's not going to matter, right? And we can look at this calculator, like I said, $1,000, let's say if you had, 20 years, and we'll be generous and give you 15% interest, still $16,000. Not life-changing, not going to make a difference, not going to make an overall difference in the quality of your life, not going to make you rich, not going to make you retire early, not going to make you wealthy, okay? So that's why I would say stop worrying about $1,000. Now, with that said, there is a place I would invest $1,000, I would invest it in myself in two ways, one of two ways, okay? One, in personal development, okay? So buying books, courses, education, maybe attending a seminar, okay? Membership to something useful. If you want something, Bulldog Mindset is a good one. Anything that is going to grow you as a person, okay, and teach you skills that are going to allow you to make more money, all right? That's one. The second thing I would do is potentially invest it in yourself again, but in the form of a business, of your own side business. Okay, so maybe you need to get started. You're bootstrapping your business. Okay, it might make sense to spend some money to buy a server. Okay, to buy some hosting, right? Okay, to spend some money on maybe on Fiverr to get a logo and to get that going, to set up your website, right? To maybe pay someone for some of the services that will help you. Maybe pay for a monthly service fee for like an email list and things like that, okay? I'm not going to go into the hows of starting a business. I've actually got a whole playlist on how to start an online business, which again, we'll put in the cards and a link in the description below. It doesn't matter at a low value. Compounding interest doesn't matter until it starts to kick in. And really what I want to get to here, if you're following me along here, there's sort of the next logical step here, which is to say this. The point where compounding interest and truly like any kind of interest or passive income or return on investment really starts to make a difference or matter in your life is where the interest itself on the money is enough that you can live off of. Why is that a critical inflection point, right? There's different inflection points in your life, especially in your financial life, because let's say I give you $10 million. So we'll put in 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. I think that's right, $10 million. Okay, $10 million. All right. Now let's say that I give you like, we're just gonna say 1 year, okay? Right? In 1 year, and I just give you a nice 5% interest rate. You're gonna have 10,500,000. So you're gonna make $500,000 in 1 year. Okay. Now, why am I giving you this example? Okay, because what I want you to understand is that if you started off with $10 million and you just got a 5% interest rate on it, you'd have $500,000 a year. That's plenty to live off of. Okay, the idea of compounding interest makes a lot of sense there. Just interest as in general, just investing that money makes sense because you can live off of that money and more. And so that money that money is generating you will profoundly affect your life. You don't have to work a job anymore. Okay, not only do you not have to work a job anymore, but the reason why this is such a major inflection point and why I use the number $10 million is because let's say you're making, I don't know, let's say $100,000 a year at your job. Okay, you can quit that job, you don't have to work that job, and now you have $400,000 extra to invest, to use as capital, to do projects, to travel the world, to do all kinds of stuff, right? You've hit an inflection point where it makes sense to figure out how to invest that $10 million. And also, if we look at the compounding of that, again, we're looking at 1 year here, but even just in 10 years at 5%, that's a significant number, right? That's $1.2 million that you could have earned by compounding that money, right? And if we got a little bit better interest rate, then now we're at $19 million. We almost double that amount in 10 years. And if we could hit a 10% interest rate, then what can we do with that? We gain $15 million, almost $16 million. That's where investing and compounding makes sense, okay? And especially like if we look at this scenario over 20 years, look what happens. Our $10 million becomes $67 million. What can you, like the leverageability of that is extremely powerful. When we only had $1,000, okay, it doesn't matter, all right? Even if we're getting a 10% interest rate, what are you going to do with an extra 5.7 grand? Nothing. Okay, what if we even had $10,000? Okay, so should we even invest $10,000 and care about that? No, because $67,000 not going to matter. Now, here's the point where it starts to matter. $100,000. Okay, here now you can see that becomes $672,000. Now, why does this matter? Why is $100,000 important? Why is $10,000 or $1,000 not important? Because of inflection points. Again, if you make $672,000 over 20 years, is that going to make a difference on your life? Absolutely. Okay. Now, even this isn't going to make as big of a difference. See, this is the problem with compounding. Okay, is that even compounding at 10%, okay, for 20 years on a $100,000 investment, that's still not a shit ton of money. You're not rich by any means, okay? This is not even close to being rich, and that's $100,000 that you've invested, and you're only worth $672,000, okay? I want to teach you how to actually be rich, how to actually become a millionaire like I am, right? Okay, I didn't do this, obviously, right? I didn't take $100,000 and get a 10% interest rate over 20 years, okay? I did something more like this, like earning like $1 million or more, okay? Making that money, investing that money, getting more like a 15% interest rate over 20 years. This isn't, or more like over 10 years, because that's when I had about $1 million. Okay, and it became that. So that's a little bit more accurate. Okay, and that makes sense. So what I want to teach you how to do, and what I want to emphasize, is learn how to do this. Okay, learn how to make $1 million. Even if you can't make $1 million, okay, learn how to make $500,000. Okay, because if you learn how to make $500,000 over 20 years, okay, and you get a good return on that, you're gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna become wealthy. You're gonna become rich. You're gonna become retired. Okay, and you'll become, what you could consider retired probably in 10 years. Okay, you're not gonna be super wealthy, but in 10 years, right? If you have this amount, okay, and then we plug that in, and then every year you're getting, let's say you just even get a conservative 7% return on $2 million. That's like about $160,000 is what I say. About $160,000 to live off of. That's plenty. You're out of the rat race. You have enough money to live off of, to live comfortably off of, right? So that's where you're wealthy. Okay. I know I'm going a lot of places here, but I want you to understand why this is so critical of a concept to understand. Okay. So the reasoning here is, and so what should you do? Okay. You're a young guy. You got $1,000. You want to be smart. You want to invest it. Okay. I plug this book all the time, but I can't get away from it. Read MJ DeMarco's book, Millionaire Fastlane. Okay, he's not paying me to say this, although he's been on the channel. You can see the interview with him. Got a nice signed copy of the book. He's a cool guy, very smart guy. Okay, so read this book. He actually has a compound interest table in here that basically says the same thing that I'm saying, which is basically, don't even worry until you make enough money. But what you want to do is, you don't want to be in the slow lane. You want to be in the fast lane. So what you want to focus on doing is figuring out how can you make at least $500,000. Okay, because that is going to be sort of the escape velocity point. I'd really like to see you make $1 million. Okay, $1 million is a little harder, but anyone can make $500,000. There's a lot of ways to make $500,000. If you just work a regular job over 10 years, okay, and it's a highly skilled job like a software developer or something like that, you can make and save $500,000. Okay, now at what point should you actually start investing? Well, at the point where you have enough money that you can actually buy some real estate. Why? Okay, why do I say that? At $1,000, you can't buy real estate, right? You might be able to do some crowdfunding, but really not. It's not going to make much of a difference anyway. Okay, but even at maybe $20,000 or so, maybe you can buy a house. Maybe you can put a down payment on a $100,000 house. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because your return on investment, your irrespective rate of return, IRR, is going to be possibly somewhere in the 15 to 20%. That makes a big difference when you look at compounding over time. Okay, that can even turn, right? Because if these small differences in interest rate make a huge difference. So if we took our, let's say you've got $25,000 saved up, okay, and let's say that we give that 20 years, and we let you have a 15%. Let's say a 20% interest rate, because if you're really investing carefully in real estate and you count the tax benefits and you count the appreciation benefits and the leverage, okay, to get a 20% return on your money is not really that hard. Okay, so now we're talking. Okay, your $25,000 in 20 years becomes $958,000. Now compounding interest is important and valuable to us. Even if even if you could just invest that $1,000 in real estate, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, even now the 10 is going to be marginal. Okay, so 10 it's a marginal but not life changing. But look at how much of a difference starting with 25 G's makes, right? It makes a huge fucking difference. It's almost $1 million. Okay, so that's why I say this is those small bits of money. It's fine. Okay, like be smart, be frugal when you're young, save up that money, but don't invest that money into the stock market and get 6 or 7%. You're not going to get enough of a return that is going to make a difference. Okay, but real estate You will. And I'm not selling you a real estate course here. I just happen to have made millions of dollars from real estate. Okay. And I know this. I've made millions of dollars in business. I've made millions of dollars in real estate. Okay. So I can tell you what makes sense. So up to that point, what are you doing with that money? Up till you have that amount, you're reinvesting in yourself. You're investing in your skills and your career. It's all about leverage. Making money, okay, I want you to understand this is about leverage. Leverage, when you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a business that you can use, let's say $1,000. Well, how can you leverage $1,000? Well, you can use that money to gain the wisdom and knowledge of other people. You can buy books, you can buy training, you can buy courses, you can buy mentorship, coaching with that, right? Let's say up to $10,000, from $1,000 to $10,000. You can spend that money and you're going to get the leverage of other people's time. You can learn everything on your own the hard way, or you can use leverage in order to get books, training, materials, coaching, all kinds of things that are going to allow you to leverage your time to increase your skills so that you can make more money. Okay, at that point, it makes more sense, right? If you can figure out how to, instead of making $50,000 a year, make $100,000 a year, and it only costs you $1,000 to do that, okay? And believe me, I've got plenty of courses and stuff that can help you to do that. To teach someone how to make $100,000 a year is not difficult at all, okay? It doesn't require a huge amount. But if you can invest $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 and now make $50,000 more a year, that's a huge, huge amount of leverage. That's better than taking that $1,000 and putting it in real estate. That's better than taking that $1,000 and putting it into a side business that isn't going to generate you a lot of money because it's going to take a long time to get off the ground. Okay. Now, leverage in a business. Okay. Leverage in a business looks like this. It looks like hiring employees. Okay. I've got people that work for me in my business, right? I can pay them. Okay. And when I pay them, they work for me, but they generate me hopefully more income than I pay them. That's leverage. It doesn't use my time. I'm able to leverage their time to make more money. That's how entrepreneurship works. Okay, so I can leverage that money. That is profit that I'm making for a business. Now, that money might look like $20,000, $30,000, okay, because it's money that I would be taking out of the business as profit, but I'm putting back in to pay employees to be able to grow the business and expand it. Okay, then we have the third level of leverage, or the third area of leverage, which is the leverage of real estate or investments. It works best in real estate because if I put 20% down payment on a house, okay, I put my, let's say $25,000, let's say 25% down payment, no, 20%, we'll do 20%, okay, $20,000 on a $100,000 house. The bank gives me $80,000. So I have a 1 to 4 leverage rate. For every $1 I put in, the bank is putting in $4. Okay. That means I'm 5xing whatever the appreciation of that asset is. Okay. So if that house goes up 10%, on my money, I don't make 10%. I make 5 times that. I make 50% on my money. Okay, not to count the other additional benefits that you'll have, such as depreciation, which will cause an offset of your taxes or deferment of your taxes, plus the actual cash flow that you get from the property itself. But it doesn't have to cash flow. It could just break even, and you're making money off of the leverage, off of the asset appreciation. Okay, and you could say, well, houses don't really appreciate; they just inflation happens, and so the price goes up with inflation. That's fine. But if you're 5x leverage, okay, then you're getting 5 times that inflation amount, right? Let's say that properties go up, let's say 3% per year, and inflation is 3% per year, and they're keeping toe with that. That's fine. Okay, if you're 100% invested in it, where you've paid cash for the property, then it's a wash. I agree. But if you have leverage, okay, and you have only put 20% down, and you get 5x the return on that, you get 5x times that 3% return. So you're still going to get 12% on your money in that case. Okay, so anyway, that's basically why I would not invest $1,000, or how I would invest $1,000. It just doesn't make sense to to go and put it in a bank account and try to get some interest on that. It doesn't make sense to put it in a CD. It doesn't make sense to put it in, for God forbid, do not fucking put it in Bitcoin. That's stupid. Okay, I've done videos on this. That's speculation. Okay, it's stupidity. All right, if you do that. All right, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't even make sense to try and buy real estate. Basically, so let me give you some real pragmatic, practical advice here. I take that money and I invest it in myself. Right? If $1,000 is a lot of money to you, okay, then you should spend that money on education. So to the point where $1,000 isn't a lot of money. Okay, because the thing is, $1,000 is all it takes to buy enough information, if you're willing to put in the time and read the books, to easily get you to a career making $75,000 to $100,000 a year. Okay, now it might take you 4 to 6 months worth of work. Okay, but if you're willing to do the time, and $1,000 is a lot of money to you, that's where I would put that money. I put it in courses. I put it in books. Okay, I put it in mentorship. Right? If I could afford the coaching, I would put it in coaching. Okay, to get myself to the point where $1,000 isn't a lot of money. Okay, now let's say that you're making $100,000 a year. Now in 1 year, let's say that you can save up, 10, 15, maybe $20,000. Okay, now you can start taking a fraction of that and continue to invest in yourself so you can increase your skills. So hopefully next year you can make $110,000 or $120,000, maybe start a side business. Okay, you've got a little bit of extra money to be able to do that, okay? Because you invest in your career first to make a lot of money. Once you have done that, now you want to save up and get 25 grand, okay? Once you have 25 grand, now let's go and find you a property to invest in. Now let's start doing some real estate investing, okay? Because now we're looking at leverage. Now we're looking at returns that might be in the 20%. And remember that calculator that we looked at here, right? This is why I'm saying this, is because if you have 25 grand and you can get, 20 years to grow on that, and you get 20% interest rate on that, well, that's pretty fucking good. Like, you're going to be able to earn $1 million. And I can guarantee you that if you're investing in real estate and you're using leverage, this 20% IRR number is not a difficult number to hit. Okay, it becomes a little bit harder when you're dealing with larger amounts of money, and you have to, you can't get that kind of return with value adds on the property. We're not getting into details there. But let's say that, what you're doing is you're basically adding $25,000 a year. Okay, so you've got your initial 25,000, you're saving 25,000 a year, and this number will go up over time. But let's just say you just did that. Look what happens here. Okay, in 20 years, $6.5 million. Who can't save $25,000 a year? Okay, maybe you're saying, oh, I can't save $25,000 a year, John. You're crazy. That's right. Okay, good. So that's why I said take your $1,000, invest it in some education to get to the point where you can make $100,000 a year. If you can make $100,000 a year, you can live frugally and save $25,000 a year. And once you get to this point where you're saving the $25,000 a year, okay, then you're going to be able to make more money, right? You're going to have a little bit of extra money. You can invest in a side business, right? You can start building up, your wealth, and start taking some of this money and being able to invest more and more of that over time. And so even if you just stayed at this point, or even if you started with the first 25,000, and let's say that you never made any more money in your career, and you're just able to save maybe 10,000 a year, and you just started investing money in yourself, or you didn't want to live super frugally, you're still going to do pretty damn well in 20 years. That's enough money to retire. Okay, that's enough money to be wealthy. So anyone can become a millionaire. Anyone can become wealthy. You just have to be smart about this, okay? And that's why it's so critical. Like, this choice, this decision is very, very critical. Because remember, if we started out with this $1,000 and you said that you're going to invest that, okay, you wouldn't be able to save $10,000 a year. Maybe you'd be able to save, another like $3,000 or $4,000 a year. We'll be generous here. Then after 20 years, you're only gonna have $1 million, okay? That's no good. It's just a waste of time. Don't even fuck with that shit, okay? Instead, what I want you to do is I want you to invest the money first to increase your skills, so that you can actually do something like this and have 25,000, and hopefully invest another 20,000 or more a year, because you're able to earn a lot of money, and now you're going to actually be rich. Okay, it's such a small choice, it seems. Like, what do you do with $1,000? But it can have a huge impact on the future of your life. That's all I have for you today. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below. Share this with a friend who is trying to invest $1,000 and doesn't know how. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.